I'll start with that on.
Jesse Martin, Eversource representative, will attend by Zoom. He's there.
I think he is.
Hello, everyone.
How's it going?
Can you make him?
Good. How are
bigger?
you?
Good.
Just
Thank you for letting me attend via Zoom. It saves me a lot of time. I appreciate it.
I'm just gonna read it. Eversource requests permission to locate line poles, wires, cables, fixtures, including the necessary sustaining and protecting along and across the following public way, Campbell Road. Purpose and description. Eversource requesting permission to install one 40-foot utility pole, be numbered 131-11, with anchoring along Campbell Road, extending facilities from our last existing pole 131/10. Poles will be on the southern side of the road, approximately 20 feet from the road center line. Pole 131/11 to be approximately 160 feet east of pole 131/10.
Any questions?
I don't have any questions. Anybody else?
yeah, Kimberly.
I'm Kimberly Longy. I'm the broadband manager here in town. Can you just tell me the height of the pole?
40 feet?
Great. Say it again, please.
40 feet.
So I have reviewed the petition, I've reviewed the site plan. The height is acceptable to our department. The reason I ask about that is that we have our fiber connected to every pole in town.
Yeah.
And the order of operations is Eversource is on top, Verizon's in the middle, and our fiber line is at the bottom. And so I just want to make sure that the pole is tall enough to accommodate us.
Yep.
Well,
Yeah, should be.
well, we're all a town utility, we're a public utility, and so we will be paying the cost to attach to that.
Yep.
Okay. And how to get in the.
Sounds good. Yeah.
Or two. Yeah, I know of at least two homes being built there.
Yeah. I just recently heard that. It sounds like I might have another petition in store.
I see. Okay, well, set to do it again.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Any questions?
I do have a question.
Uh,
So
name.
Susan Allen, 35 Grant Street, we actually own the corner of Campbell Road and Grant Street.
Yeah.
So where exactly is the pole going?
At the bottom.
At the bottom, past our field then?
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
Where the-
Just extending facilities, one more pull down for the new house that's being built.
okay, all right. That's it, thank you.
Sure.
I just signed up.
Do you need a vote from us?
That's up to you guys. I believe so. Usually they do.
Oh, Paul is nodding her head. I move that we accept the poll hearing as presented.
I'll second that motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you guys. Have a good night.
You too.
Approve minutes of March 24th, 2026.
I move we approve minutes. Yeah.
I'm gonna say, okay, thanks, good to see you guys.
Take care.
Aye. We approve the minutes of March 24th.
I'll second that motion.
All in favor?
Aye. The next agenda, I guess, something I had put on there.
Consideration of and vote on creating of an ad hoc capital planning committee.
So you will remember that we discussed capital planning last summer. There are actually MGL statutes around what you have to do in order to create a standing capital planning committee. But we can create an ad hoc capital planning committee. So the finance committee asked me if I would make sure that the select board consider this, and if they accept it, they would vote on it. Because at an ad hoc, it's not standing committee that goes on forever, it exists for a period of time. But we would like to get a group together who can begin doing the capital planning for major town projects that need to happen. And anticipating rather than reacting to capital expenses that are coming forward. So, if you guys are amenable to that, we would have to, I think the finance committee would probably take the lead in recommending the members. I think Kimberly actually offered to be a part of that. But she has a lot of experience in capital planning and financial planning. And
Leela is interested, I think.
and Dalila might be on it too. I mean, I don't know that we have to appoint the members right now. We just need to create the ad hoc committee.
In creating such a committee, do we have to define it?
No, we don't. That's one of the things you have to do with a standing committee. But it's not my understanding that you have to do that with an ad hoc committee. And I think that, maybe since Kimberly's in the room, we could say, would you be willing to take the lead on creating the composition of the ad hoc committee? And then she would bring it back to us and we could approve it,
He agrees.
if she agrees.
So I'm willing to serve on the ad hoc group. I understand that group would be reporting to the select board.
I believe that's what,
Accountable to the
that's
select.
what ad hoc communities, or
Yeah.
committees do, yeah.
And that, we can put out a call for interested parties and sift through, who might be interested. My hope would be it's a manageable group, so we
Right.
can do some good work together. Whether or not Mass General Law requires a charter or a scope of work, I always think it's a good idea to have something informal that just says,
So
what are we doing? So,
informally, what I think the finance committee had in mind was to determine all of the steps that the town would need to take to create a standing capital planning committee. And then oversee those steps and make recommendations about how they ought to be handled. Because that's the obstacle to creating a standing committee right now.
okay,
Is that okay? And begin the work, begin
Yeah,
sort of defining the scope of the problem, I think,
okay.
would be part of it.
I'm flexible to do that. I'll give it a go. So
I'm
I'm
not-
planning to set up the longer term structure then, which would be an independent committee of the town, not accountable to the select board or the finance committee. It would be another apparatus.
I believe so, but I'm not sure. I don't know the MPL on that.
Okay. I'm willing to do that. I'll seek out Dalila, who I know is interested, and I'll seek out Peter Lapointe, who I know has got his fingers in a ton of the capital
A
projects.
number of the capital projects, yes.
So maybe the three of us can figure out a way forward.
Yeah, I think that's a good starting point.
Maybe give us some sort of after town meeting to report back. Would that be reasonable?
Oh, at least. I would say maybe the whole summer. We were
Yeah.
hoping that the ad hoc group could be composed and maybe converse a bit in the summer and report back the first meeting in the fall.
Okay.
So I don't wanna put you under any pressure. It's been a year now and it's gone nowhere, and so we wanted it to go somewhere.
Then Joe first suggested it in March when we met with them here.
Yeah, so it's been more than a year. You might, I don't know if town employees can be on ad hoc committees, but I would say that Ben would not be a bad person to have on a committee if that's permitted by the MGL.
And yeah,
Well, you ask him, you don't
I mean,
require, you invite him.
Questions?
I move that we create an ad hoc committee and then Kimberly Longy is going to assist us in forming it more fully. And we ask them to determine the requirements of creating a standing capital committee for the town. And begin defining the possible capital needs of the town. So that that committee can get going as soon as we're able to meet the requirements of NGL for the formation of a standing capital committee.
Yeah, so I'm,
But, you know, it's what we talked about with all the specifics.
I'll second the motion, but I have a question. Without any writing. If the goal is to move toward a, standing committee. What do you think is a potential term for the ad hoc committee?
I mean, I hope it's less than a year.
Yeah.
So that we would work to, if, I believe town meeting must establish.
Yes, it
entity
would have-
bodies, so it would be a year to get to the next town meeting.
To hand it off to the next town meeting.
Thank you.
All in favor? Aye.
And thank you.
Yes. Well, I wouldn't have tagged her if she hadn't volunteered earlier. I promise you.
As I said in our town all boards meeting, I think having a plan would help alleviate the sort of interdepartmental tensions of having to go one by one at each of these, you know.
And the confusion about what's in the hopper and when it's gonna come to fruition.
So it's a uniting, says.
It is.
The planning is by a, like, people.
It would definitely help unify the community, I think. Okay. You want me to explain my reasoning for adding the next item too?
Select board to discuss whether or not to postpone the annual town meeting until June.
So. This came up when, in a conversation that Paula and I were having last week. And she pointed out that we're way behind the 8 ball in the preparation of the town meeting warrant. We have at least some inkling of what the warrant articles need to be. We think we know what most of them need to be, but town meeting is on May 2nd. We are today at April 14. We would have to have, and this is a consideration. The current serving executive assistants to the select board, her last day is Friday. Right. And Jessica's first day is Monday the 20th. That is 12 days before the town meeting. The town meeting warrant has to be posted 7 days. That's what I was gonna say, 7 days. I looked it up on the bylaws and MGL'd it today. Up to date with Dineski. So that would leave her, what, 9 days? To prepare the town meeting warrant, because that is something that the executive assistant to the select board typically does. You don't have to write the whole thing, but you accumulate all of the warrant article topics. And then I think Paula would help you craft the first draft. But then it has to go to KP Law and they have to review it because we don't have a moderator to review it. And even if we did have a moderator, I think this year it would be important that they go to KP Law since there is a zoning bylaw amendment. And I think that's an unfair pressure cooker to put Jessica in her first week. I think that a lot of volunteers in town would feel extraordinary pressure to craft their warrant articles. We haven't yet heard from KP Law about their opinions on the zoning bylaw proposal, although I saw an exchange today, but I didn't look late in the day, so correct me if I'm wrong, Peter. I have not heard back from them, or I wasn't copied on their reply. And I think that there's no point.
Rush out there.
There's no point in making ourselves crazy. The town bylaw says that it mandates that the annual town meeting for the election of officers and action upon the articles of the town warrant shall be on the first Saturday of May. The polls to be open from noon to 6, the business session from 1 PM, and it doesn't have an end time. The next paragraph says, the Board of Selectmen is authorized to postpone the date of the annual town meeting at its discretion, provided that the notice of its postponement is given at least 14 days in advance of the date of the annual town meeting. This is our last select board meeting before that. And such new date shall be no later than the last Saturday of June. So, with all of that, we are empowered. I confirmed that with KP Law this morning. He was intrigued that the election and the town meeting take place on the same day. And he was gonna double check our bylaws. I read him the paragraph, but he still wanted to like, fine, give me your blessing. And he said we are completely empowered to do that. I think it is the better part of wisdom this year because we have a complicated town warrant. We do not yet have a final budget and we are behind the 8 ball. If we did it, I would propose that we do it on May 30th, which is 4 weeks after May 2nd. Exactly. And the advantage of May, we can't, the 24th, which is the week before, is Memorial Day weekend, and I would strongly recommend against that. The weekend before that is May 16th. I would recommend the later date because, correct me if I'm misquoting you, Paula, but Paula told me earlier when we spoke that she thought we could probably have all of the year-end transfers determined by the 30th of May, which would gate.
Work
Just-
towards that.
yeah,
If anything has to go on the warrant.
Yeah, yes, we would be able to put it on the warrant and we wouldn't have to have another town meeting late in June in order to do the year-end transfers to and from stabilization, free cash, whatever. And so I thought it was wise or the better part of wisdom to give ourselves as much time as possible to try and achieve that goal of having a singular annual town meeting instead of an annual town meeting and then a special town meeting within a 4-week period.
Has that ever been postponed before?
Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
Yep. The elections don't get postponed, so that is
well,
what,
that's,
that's what makes things.
that's not the way the bylaws read.
Yeah.
And they are lumped together in one sentence. The annual town meeting for the election of officers and action upon articles of the town warrant shall be on blah, blah, blah. And that's what I think what Dave Dineski will weigh in on. That, I think that's why he wanted to look at it. Because when I read that to him and I said, well, sounds to me like they're linked. And he said, yeah, you're right. Let me look at that. So I'm gonna defer to him.
Okay.
Because I think if you don't have the elections on the day of the town meeting, you'll probably get a much smaller turnout.
Or the other way around, you get.
Or the other way around, either way, one way or the other. But either way is not a good thing.
But it's happened, I'm pretty sure, well, you'll find out what you find out.
Yeah,
And or town clerk should have the records of when we've split
Oh.
them.
okay.
Cause, yeah, okay.
They were split in the past, and then.
Yes, they were.
Well, I mentioned this to Ruth also. After you and I spoke. And she didn't balk at it.
That's good, nice.
Whatever's the legal way to go, and
Think it just. Whatever is done, I think extra communication publicly has to be attended to.
It has to
In
be
fairness
posted
for the
on
people who are
board
running.
out in front. It has to be posted on the electronic signs. We have to put it on, what is it, the Blackboard or whatever that sends out the emails.
Article in the Plainfield.
Articled in the Plainfield Post, posters at the transfer station, the town hall, the town offices, the post office. You know, every way, and posted on everything Facebook. Or everything Plainfield on Facebook.
Okay. But we have to go with what
We have to
KP
pick a
laws,
date.
and we have to abide by KP law decision.
Well,
The
I would move that we postpone the annual town meeting until May 30th. And unless KP law tells us we do not have to postpone the election, then we revisit the election at our second meeting or our last meeting in April. We have one more meeting in April.
But do we have time?
Well, this also has to be.
That's gotta be posted.
But it would only have to be posted 7 days before, right?
Right.
And if we do it on April 28th, you're 7 days before May 16th, or you're more than 7 days before May 30th.
But you're not.
Says that it has to be posted for 14 days.
No, it does, that was my mistake.
Okay.
The annual town meeting only has to be posted 7, a special town meeting has to be posted 14. Sorry, I misspoke there. I find it terribly confusing that they don't just make them consider. So that's my motion.
Can you say it then?
I move that we postpone the annual town meeting to May 30th. And that we defer a final decision, this is I changed it,
I know.
on the town election.
Yeah.
Until our April 28th select board meeting, when we have a determination from KP Law about whether or not they can be linked or they have to be separated.
I can say that.
All in favor?
Peter,
I was gonna propose an amendment to your motion, but you've already voted on it.
oh, well, what were you gonna propose?
I'm gonna propose that you say that the election be held on May 2nd unless it needs to be. Then you got it covered.
Okay, can we amend that? I move that we amend the motion. As Peter just said. I hadn't thought of it.
Wait, but no, that's a different thing. It's a different thing what you're saying, Peter. Stick the election on the second.
Well, so if we stick it on the second. We may not get as much of a turnout on the 30th for the town meeting, and I think this is an important enough town meeting. That we need to have as many people there as possible.
I think maybe the citizens are able to multitask.
I'd be surprised.
Time will tell. We shall see.
The time to go to 2 places on a weekend. Yeah, I don't think it's a matter.
Well, I already know some people who are gonna be out of town on the second, so. They wouldn't make it if that was the annual town meeting or the election.
Well, election workers can never make it to the town meeting because they're working the hours.
Their work.
So there's always that.
All right, we'll go with Peter's amendment. Did you get that? Is that okay? Okay. All right.
Minor special town meeting scheduled for 7 PM on April 21st, 2026.
What is the agenda for that?
To vote on the blacktop, the basketball field, or basketball court.
And the reason it has to happen before the town meeting is because it's moving this year's money, not next year's money.
Miscellaneous mail of meeting notices, notification from the Commonwealth, Massachusetts request for comments. Department of Public Utilities open an inquiry to examine energy burden with a focus on energy affordability for residential ratepayers. Department invites all interested persons to submit written comments on this matter, including comments on the questions below. Not later than the close of business 5 PM on April 21st, 2026. Please see this document from the Department of Public Utilities for further information.
That document is a long document, so we didn't print out lots of copies, but it is posted on the town calendar under tonight's meeting. So anybody can download it and look at the questions and get the instruction about, learn what the project is. Get the questions and how to respond. But they only have 2 weeks to do it. No, 1 week to do it. Keep forgetting it's the 14th. The month is flown by.
Then we got Merton Taylor Senior's resignation from the cemetery committee.
I move that we accept his resignation with deep gratitude and appreciation for his many years of service.
Very sad.
All in favor?
Aye.
This information. Says we have to vote on this. The select board in the town of Plainfield have received a notice of intent to sell or convert to some other use land classified as chapter 61 land and taxed under the provisions of chapter 61 of general laws. Owner of record, Ruth M. Chuddy, Family Trust, 21 Bridle Path, Pittsburgh, North Carolina. Deed reference, this is property placement 0 East Main Street. Parcel described as 23.0 to 5.0 on assessor's tax maps containing 36 acres, with 36 being classified under GL Chapter 61 Forestry. Under said Chapter 61, the town has an option to purchase said land intended to be sold or converted to other use. I withdraw from Chapter 61 classification. To inform you that the said select board have voted not to exercise said option.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
It'd be nice if we could buy it.
Yeah, but, with what money?
Double rainbow was out yesterday, could find that pot of gold.
I think there's one other thing that wasn't on the agenda. Carries on that. Which is, I think that although we don't really have the total warrant article list compiled, we have at least a preliminary draft of what it is, and I think we need to close the warrant tonight. So that we can actually move forward on drafting the warrant. And I would say that the only thing that I didn't see on Paula's list that she emailed to me today, and correct me if I'm wrong, because I didn't sit down and read this closely, is I know the police department wants to bring back a warrant article for the purchase of a cruiser. Is that in here?
No, it's not. I think Dan will speak to that or make a suggestion.
He's got a plan for how to do it.
Yes, he does.
I know that.
Like me to say it?
You can, but I don't know that it's, yes.
Okay. We have a large amount of money left over in our salary. We can transfer 20,000 from salary to expense. As long as the finance committee and select board both agree to it. However, that has to be done in the last 2 months without having to be voted on by both select board and finance committee after May 1st.
And then you add that to the $10,000 in the police stability fund,
Correct.
and you get the $30,000 down payment. And we already had approval from a special town meeting for the lease to purchase agreement.
Or that in the town meeting.
Yes, so that's already been approved.
Yeah.
This would be the last piece
Piece.
to make that happen before the end of the year.
Sounds good to me.
So then that need for work becomes moot.
Well, we have to vote on it next.
It's,
Next select board meeting after.
yeah, for
The transfer will not be on the town meeting warrant from the salaries to the expense account. What needs to be on the warrant is, once again, for the town to accept or approve the transfer of the $10,000 lease
stabilization fund for the down, for that purpose.
And that I do,
Is that already in there? Okay.
I have that.
There also have to be the, vote to make the first annual payment next year, FY 27.
But
Once that gets,
I don't think we can do that, and because we don't, this has not gone through the state yet, that's the hardest part.
the town clerk needs to send the certified vote and article to the attorney general to be approved.
Yeah.
For the revolving account.
Correct.
For
That's different than what we were talking about before.
Right.
Yeah.
But that would have to be made at the annual town meeting for the payment next year.
It can't, and it can't be made, I don't see how you can make that vote at this annual town meeting when we don't have either approval or reduction of the revolving fund from the Attorney General's office.
In other words, there's a step that Ruth has to take
Okay,
before we can do any transaction
Correct.
out of that revolving fund.
Yeah.
We already voted to create the revolving fund a year ago. So until Ruth gets that information to the Attorney General's office and we get approval back, we can't vote to transfer money into or out of that. We know that the money for that is being held, so it's there, but we can't do anything about it until after. So that's not a warrant article for this town meeting. That's a warrant article for sometime after the Attorney General approves the account.
I believe the chapter section states it has to be.
it has to be, it does have to be at an annual.
And when I spoke to the deputy director of the fiscal law unit at the attorney general's office, she looked everything over and she said it looked good to her. Once she got it from us, she said it wouldn't be a problem with approving it and she would do it.
All right, I'm gonna go park myself at Ruth's desk until that's done.
I would like to offer another option.
Okay,
Do we have an assistant town clerk?
We
do. The select board understands that this delay has caused such significant ruckus with the manner of acquisition and financing of something that the select board believes is necessary. I believe you should call on the assistant town clerk to come to her job and get that thing done. That's what I would do if I was manager. The person's failing to do the work, get the person who's their assistant to do the work.
it's a very interesting thought, that had not occurred to me. All right, well,
I'm not gonna.
I will call, is it Teresa Thatcher? And then, I will call Teresa first, and then I'll plant myself at the town clerk's desk.
This is not the first major omission that is causing. You know,
But we know what the problem is. There's nothing we can do because she is elected. She reports to the Secretary of State, but I will go to Teresa and beg her.
Articles that are not part of the annual budget that include the zoning bylaw change that the planning board wants inserted.
The zoning bylaw is one of the things that we are aware of, and yes, we will get those from you. I don't think we need them from you tonight.
Right here, and I can email you copies so you have.
Great.
What is the, so you,
my
the geothermal
Oh,
belt?
here.
It's just, I'm just gonna change the.
I'll just send you what.
So there's 4 articles. They include a request from the Energy Committee to top off the gap funding for the geothermal because we're reapplying for the grant and it's gonna cost more money, so we need to gap fund.
But that's not a zoning bylaw.
No.
Oh, you said in addition to the zoning.
There are 4
Okay, sorry.
articles there. So there's one from the Energy Committee with respect to the geothermal funding. There is one from the Building Committee that consolidates 3 special articles that we've been carrying forward for specific projects into the building stabilization fund. So it's now available for any building related project pending a vote by the taxpayers.
It's just consolidating all of them.
Yes. It's a total of $64,470.
I see that.
Third one is to top off that amount. From stabilization so that we can get to the $90,000 we need to match a grant that we applied for to get the fire escape and the painting done on this.
Okay,
And the last one is the zoning bylaw change.
okay,
So there's a total of 4.
excellent.
I've tried to put them in a town warrant, language. Someone else can massage it, but, and I'll forward copies to you. It's a Word document, but I just wanted to,
Forward it to Paula too.
yes.
Please, thank you.
And we'll make sure Jessica gets it when her account is set up. She doesn't have an email yet, haven't emailed her. But she will. A week from yesterday. We've already requested it.
I don't know.
Oh, at your personal email. Okay. All right, so with those additions that we just discussed, which included the police cruiser transfer from the police stabilization to the purchase fund for the down payment.
Yeah.
And the 4 warrant articles that Peter just gave us.
Yes.
I move that we close annual town meeting warrant tonight, so that all that means is that no new articles can be added after tonight.
That's what that stuff.
They have to be, the articles have to be within 14 days of the meeting, correct?
No, 7,
7,
I mean. But, I mean. Has it ever been done that we made an exception to add one more article as we got closer to it?
The select board in the past has voted to reopen the warrant to.
Add a next one, okay. So we will do that when and if that revolving account is created or approved. And I wouldn't be so presumptuous as to propose that for a vote tonight. Because it's been 11 months.
Yeah.
And we're still in the same place. So even if I go sit on.
I mean, I think the spirit of it is, this is a known issue that's been in the ether, reopening to add something that's been known, but to slide something in.
Right.
That's not been discussed, you know, or in any public process the week before is probably.
Is form. Yeah. It's a little shady.
It's out there.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
I don't think it's a bad thing to do, but I'm just not gonna go outside the boundaries of MGL.
As they say, elections have consequences.
Yeah. If only people understood that better. Okay, so there is a motion on the floor to close the annual town meeting warrant with the things that are known and discussed as of today, given what Peter gave us and given what Paula gave us and what we have discussed tonight.
Second.
All in favor?
Good, we've taken one step towards having an annual town meeting warrant. Okay,
Any other question? Business?
I was just wondering if Shannon is gonna be in town in person on Friday, or if there's any kind of thank you card or anything.
I think she may be, she said she was gonna be in on Friday, I think she told me in an email she was coming in later this week on Friday. And I sent her a note personally, because I'm not here on Friday.
Okay.
But,
I might pop in with her.
yeah, I think it would be in the afternoon.
It's you, she's been coming later in the day.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I think she has farm work in the morning.
Great, thanks.
Select board to vote. Pursuant to the provisions of guideline C,
No, general law.
general law. 38, section 21. to enter into executive session to conduct contract negotiations with non-union personnel, acting police chief, who is also will be present.
So moved.
Second motion.
All fair.
Aye. Good night, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I think I might get that, just, stick around.
Are you taking it, Peter? When we made an agreement, we leave 13,000 for the heat police, was that?
All right.
Nothing,
No.
we have nothing.
We're gonna.
Yes. The only change we made,
You get to go.
the general fund was increased the amount for operation.
$10,000.
Yeah, but it's still set.
The only change,
Yeah.
everything else is.
It's smaller.
Oh, it's gonna work out.
So, but she had the heat, $8,000, and I thought taken home, we moved into the state of the.
No, I.